Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early 5 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. As you guys can see, I was not planning on making my video. I was in the middle of my workout. Let me just fill you guys in. Usually I have a lot of input going as I'm working out. I have my TV on, my laptop on, my phone on, all at the same time with news going on to notifications for news stories. And I came across a news story that really set me off, made me angry, and it gives me a sinking feeling of just feeling for the people involved, and just this happening again in our society, in our country. All right, a man was arrested, James Iannazzo, in his 40s. He was arrested for intimidation based on bias or bigotry, criminal trespass, and one other one, I can't remember. There's 3 charges, but let me just fill you guys in. There's Fairfield, Connecticut, a smoothie shop, Robex smoothie shop. I've never heard of it. Fairfield is a wealthy. It's what we call the Gold Coast here in Connecticut, a very wealthy area of right above New York City along the Long Island Sound, and he came into the store irate, screaming. I'll have the video of the news down below. And it's scary watching this guy. He's screaming, swearing. He throws cups. He throws a cup at the employees. Then here's the thing, too. He questions the immigration status, the background of one of the employees. I think it's the employee holding the camera. This is one of the things that bothered me the most, that the employees were so terrified, these 2 girls, I believe it was 2 women, two young women, that they locked themselves in the employee's bathroom, and he tried to bash his way into the bathroom. Okay, what was this all over? Apparently his son, a teenager, I'm not sure, I think he might have been 14, but I'm not sure, that was in the store previously. He is allergic to peanuts. After going there, he had an allergic reaction, a severe allergic reaction, had to go to the hospital. Now this father claims that his son told him that he specified that he could not have peanuts in his drink. Now, I imagine if you're allergic to peanuts, this is something you probably tell people, because you have to tell people not even to use the same machine. I'm wondering if they have cameras there to see if there was film. Anyway, the son has an allergic reaction, and this father just goes ballistic. Some of my thoughts, what bothered me about this. Now, I don't have kids, and I can empathize with the father, being scared, terrified, and in his mind, he feels like somebody either intentionally or if I try to get into his mind, he's probably thinking that somebody's lazy practices or lazy workmanship led to his son almost losing his life. That's if I try to put myself in this guy's shoes. Now, I don't want, once again, I don't want to stereotype, but this is a very wealthy area of Connecticut. He was working at Merrill Lynch. He was subsequently fired, bam, within 24 hours. Merrill Lynch fired him for this. They do not tolerate this kind of behavior, and bam, he's gone. So the employees said, he did not tell them this, and that they specifically have another machine, because I've been familiar with people that are allergic to nuts, and you have to be extremely careful. You can't even use, never mind putting nuts in it, but you can't even use the same containers, the same machines that had anything to do with these nuts, any trace of these nuts. That's how severe these allergies are. So honestly, the true story here is we don't even know for sure 100% that the kid's reaction is due to this smoothie shop. He was in there previously. It could have possibly happened somewhere else. I'm wondering if there's cameras there, but that's not even my point. This is what I thought about. This guy is so enraged because he feared for his son. Is that parental instinct. But immediately what I thought was the way that he was treating these 2 women. There's no proof. He doesn't, he's just going after both of them, anyone in that shop. So, guaranteed he's yelling at somebody who has no idea what he's even talking about. And what occurred to me is these two girls, these two young women, are somebody else's children. He is terrorizing, terrifying, belittling, talking about immigration status, actually throwing, I think it was a cup, I don't know if it was full, at, striking these kids. So the same thing, more than almost, 99.9% likelihood that this, if it did happen here, it was a complete accident. And what this guy does, he comes in there intentionally raging and terrorizes somebody else's kids. Intentionally. And then the part about breaking in the bathroom. Two girls already scared out of their minds of this guy, throwing stuff, yelling at him, the immigration stuff, locked themselves, and he's trying to bust down the door. Does it click in his mind at all that what he's doing to somebody else's children right there, chances are these girls are going to have freaking nightmares for the rest of their lives. They're going to remember this. They're going to be terrorized by this guy for the rest of their lives. Now, some people might say, well, serves them right. They should have paid more attention. And sometimes, an eye for an eye doesn't always apply. It rarely applies. I just think of how hypocritical, the hypocrisy in this. This guy is enraged about somebody hurting his son. And he turns around and does the same thing, but he does it intentionally. And to two young women, which in my mind is even worse, two young women scaring the hell out of these two girls intentionally. Empathy. Again, I could understand this guy being angry. I at this point, I don't have kids, but I know myself well enough that I would know better than to, if it were me, I'd want to go back to that shop. But I know how angry and scared I was, and I would know that it is not a good idea for me to go back in the shop. The best idea for him would have been to go directly to the police department and tell them that his son is in the hospital after eating there because of this allergic reaction. That would have been, if you just thought for a few seconds, that would have been the right thing to do. I often ask myself, this has a lot to do with my recovery. A lot of times I think about going through a particular neighborhood or a friend. I see a friend, he calls me over. And the first thing I think to myself is, what good could come of this? What are the possible outcomes? What good could come of me taking this action? That's what this guy should have asked himself. What possible good for his son being in the hospital? He should have been with his son in the hospital, but he's there terrorizing these two other young women. What good was going to come out of him going back to that shop and doing this to these girls? I don't know. Maybe he realizes this now, or maybe he still thinks he's in the right. A lot of the times, people that think along these lines, again, I don't want to stereotype, but just the fact, his age, the area he lived, his job, the stuff he yelled, his actions and his words, kind of leads me to believe that there's a good chance this guy's a conservative. I could be wrong here, but I don't think so. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. It's probably going to go nationwide, this story. And the first thing I see is I fear for these poor girls. I don't think they had a clue what he was talking about. And just the hypocrisy of the whole thing you see unfolding. This guy supposedly protecting, wanting to protect his son, goes and terrorizes somebody else's kids. Makes me worry about the way things are right now. You guys have a great Monday.